Roll off now.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Hold Your Brakes Academy presented by PinoutsForVets.com. And we are here at Pocono Mountains. Pocono Raceway going to play host to tonight's race, and it's going to be race number 5 for the series here. Third of the way through the season. Once we complete it here tonight, 50 laps on tap as we go trucking in the Pocono Mountains. Carlheim, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, time to go trucking.
Yeah, trucks at Pocono. I got out there and did a few laps. It's been quite some time since I've turned a few laps here at Pocono, but you know, it doesn't change. So besides getting used to how the truck would handle for the race, then not too bad for somebody that hasn't been here in probably maybe 2 years or so now. Has actually turned a race lap here, but looking good here so far tonight. Got a nice sized field. You know, I think we're closing in on at least 30 trucks here, so they're out there qualifying right now. Got about 3 minutes remaining, and Robert White's on top at the moment. Go ahead, and I can bring that up here for everybody. So everybody pretty much knows.
Around. He's starting to shuffle back down the order as times are finally starting to come in right now. I think he was able to get his time in first, but maybe not fastest, as everyone's starting to click in some laps right now.
There we go.
But yeah, so far through the season, we had some, I want to say some early domination as Timothy Presley looked pretty well through the first couple races, had the points lead, wasn't here last week, so he's going to drop down to third in the points. So Aaron Genske is going to be now on top of the boards, Jeremiah Grell, and then Timothy Presley, Rob Higgs, Robert Altman for your top 5 currently in the point standings. Mid-tier racing with the 22 of Presley and the 85 brain farting who the 85 is all of a sudden, but David Shively. They are leading the team point standings. CNL Racing, Minor Motorsports, Mixed Breed Motorsports, and Mediocre Motorsports are your top 5 for the team point standings. But this should be a good one out here tonight. Hoping the wider track, the longer track will help these drivers kind of separate out here a little bit. Cautions can get a little weird, a little funky here at Pocono because, I mean, we've seen some where it's a single car wreck nowhere near, all the way in the back of the field, and a caution comes out. And we've seen others where 2-3 cars slide down to the inside of the Long Pond Straight and no caution. So good luck to trying to decide what the iRacing officials want to do here tonight. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we just don't have any incidents and we just see a good race out here. But I know the trucks can get a little bit rear happy at Pocono. Normally you come here with the Cup cars or the O'Reilly cars, and they'll be planted for the most part, especially through the tunnel turn. But these trucks, if you're not ready for it, they can get a little bit snappy on entry and even on exit through the tunnel turn, a very fast section here of the track. And as always noted, there are only 3 turns here. There is no turn 4. What turn 4 here at Pocono? We'll see who can get all 3 of these turns mastered here tonight, as again 50 laps here on tap for the Hold Your Brakes Academy presented by PinoutsForVets.com. I want to thank our other sponsors, Meats and Sweets, Mid-Tier Racing, Backbone Candle Company, and SM Racing Products as well for all their contributions here. But this is it's a home race for me, probably the closest track here on the service here for iRacing for me, for sure. Only about maybe half hour, 40 minutes away from my house. Former home track for my co-commentator Jimmy here as well. But Jimmy mentions it all the time. It is almost kind of a hidden gem. You're just driving through a long straight with trees on both sides, and all of a sudden there's a racetrack. It's a big old racetrack too, 2.5 miles.
Yeah, long racetrack and lots of time for the drivers to kind of get out there. But qualifying is done here for tonight, and the field is set. So we'll go ahead and clear the tower here and bring up those results for everybody as they get ready to take the track. And on the pole here tonight is going to be the likes of the number 23 of Matt Ulmer. On the outside with Rob Higgs. Tom Lanier and David Shively make up row number 2, and row number 3 with Chris Sargent with James Smith. David Chapman and Jeremy Gill make up row number 4, and row number 5, Robert Altman and Jeremiah Grell Bryson Anderson coming in on 11th, Grant Folsom in 12th, Joshua King and Shane King 13th and 14th. 15th is Ronald Cook with Aaron Ginsky back in 16th. Matt Bryant in 17th, Timothy Presley back in 18th. We have a few more drivers here tonight. As 19 is Rachel Sullivan. Sean McLean in P number 20. 21st is Robert White. Joe Thomas in P22. Carl Fitz in 23rd. Anthony Strickland in 24th. Dalton Smith in 25th. And Don King in 26th. David Riddle will round our 27 truck field here tonight. So we're going to go racing here tonight as the pace car is off and away, and get them out here warmed up, ready to go.
So far, winners for the season. Timothy Presley won the opener at Daytona, and technically won the preseason opener, not for points, just get him warmed up there, but won the season opener at Daytona. Tom Lanier won at Auto Club in race number 2. Joshua King, winner at Texas, and then last week out, Aaron Ginsky was the man to beat, and he led 60 of the 111 laps that were run at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, and certainly was the fastest truck out there. But doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be guaranteed the win. But he had the fastest lap, most laps led, and walked away the victor. But a little bit of cautions certainly played a part in that, and a lot of different strategies. So it wasn't exactly just cut and dry for the 115 last week. We'll see who's got the top spot here tonight. Will we have 5 different winners in the first 5 races is the question. We certainly like parity up here in the booth. We like to see different winners every week, and it certainly keeps the point standings nice and fresh for sure, and keeps everybody well within the realm of catching up. And I mean, right now the top 6 covered by 82 points. It seems like a pretty big margin, especially this early in the season. But we'll see how it all plays out here. Aaron Ginsky again is your points leader after last week. But pace car lights are out. Making that left-hand turn into pit lane. We'll wait for Barney here on the front stretch to drop tonight's green flag as we are racing at Pocono.
Way to go ahead down to turn number 1 down the long front straightaway, one of the longer ones in iRacing for sure. And incident occurs already as probably a mischief happens in the back, as it looks like Grant Folsom, David Riddle, maybe Rachel Sullivan involved here in this one here, and even the likes of Timothy Presley, maybe Carl Fitz trying to hold things up. So rough way to start the tricky triangle, but they weren't even in the triangle part, Carl.
No, exactly, and that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's plenty of spots here on the track, well, 3 that I can think of that are troublesome spots, and I'd say I thought maybe in the blinker right there, but it was actually the 115, your points leader, Aaron Ginsky, getting into the back of the 60 of Shane King, which gets in the back of maybe a little net code there into Joshua King, but going to be a several truck incident on this one, and then a little maybe 224 there, thinking that they got a monster truck. I don't know if Rachel Sullivan thinks they're in a monster truck. They're trying to drive up and over the 22 of Timothy Presley, but we'll be under our first caution here of the night.
Yeah, and first caution here early on. It's not the way you want to start things up, and hopefully they can get things gathered together. And some people can get a slower start, or some people drive it or start in a different gear. So it's kind of hard to kind of guess those things sometimes. And then obviously cold tires plays a huge factor, but it does look like the trucks are in pretty decent shape for the most part. Hopefully the steering's all good to go. Especially for Rachel there, as she was up and over that one car. We're going to bring it down here for repairs. I mean, why not? I mean, if you're getting the slip to the back and plenty of time for the drivers to get around here, get the pit crew to actually do some work under caution. I know a lot of tracks you don't really have much time, especially when they're shorter like this, but you kind of come in and at least gauge, whether you should take a fast repair or not. It doesn't look like much damage, so I probably would not, unless you get some big things. But I do see some instant repairs and a tire change going on for the 224, so she'll be good to go. Just be starting towards the back of the pack here when a restart comes. But Matt Ulmer did get the that first lap led there, and Rob Hicks back there in P number 2, Tom Lanier, Chris Surgeon, and David Shipley top 5.
Yeah, kind of surprised Sullivan deciding to take the faster pair there, as the truck didn't look that bad. I mean, maybe the handling wasn't there. You know, we went inside the car. Maybe it was, you know, turned 90 degrees and we just didn't realize it. But truck itself didn't really look that bad. And you know, lap 2 is certainly not the time you want to blow through one of your faster pairs, especially with the fact that they only have one for the whole night. So Sullivan definitely going to need to be a little bit more tiptoey around some incidents here and try and avoid any kind of issues. But really, quite a few drivers probably, you know, not wanting to start off on that foot, whether the trucks are damaged or not, because of the incident limit that they have here in the series. 17X will get them a black flag, and 25X will get them a DQ for the night. So got to be careful of that, and certainly quite a few drivers picking up 4X right away on that first one right there. But should see them get ready to get back to racing action here in just a bit, as everybody back out there on the track. And definitely do gotta say, like in the truck count out here tonight, like you mentioned earlier, almost 30 trucks out here, 27 take the green flag here tonight. So good showing here once again.
Yeah, 30 is a good solid number. I think that's a nice full field. It's not too light, it's not too heavy, and you know, some series or leagues can muster up a few more. I know we've had our hands full over there with Core, and you know, breaking the 40 barrier pretty, you know, easily with this season series, at least for the beginning race. So I mean, it always falls off, so it's always good to start a little higher. That not everybody can make it every single week. We hope to see everybody every week, but you know, real life comes up, and obviously this is a hobby. You know, it's not somebody's job, so somebody, you know, people tend to, you know, say you need to set it down, you set it down. Go take care of life, go take care of your kids, family, whatever it may be. Obviously, I also had, let's see, I don't know if you got the same message or not, Carl, but I had a message from one of the drivers here tonight to just mention that Ronald Boat, Cook's mother, has been in the hospital since February, fighting for her life. And today she's doing better and is looking for a lung donor. Just you know, anybody that's going through stuff like that, you know, always put it out there and think about them, and hopefully something goes their way to make their life a little bit easier, or you know, make things a lot better for that family. So hope you all wish the best of luck there for Ronald Boat, Cooks, and try to you know, make the best of it each and every day.
Yeah, definitely did not see any kind of message, but good to hear that she is doing better in the hospital right now. And thoughts and prayers certainly to the Cook family from the CRN family here as well. Getting back to the driver counts you mentioned, yeah, there's times where I'm glad that not everybody does show up, because I mean, last season we had so many in the Xfinity series, now O'Reilly series, that we actually had to have 2 splits. We had it set up that if there's a certain amount, it split off into a second one. And this season there's 50 signed up. Maybe I'd be okay having all 50 out there, but I think we still would need to cut it off at some point, as it's just a little bit too much. No matter, even if you're at Daytona, it's too many cars, trucks, anything out there that once you get that high a number. And even for the GT series right now, there's 67 drivers signed up. I'm pretty sure you can only have 60 on the track. So it's certainly another one where I don't mind if not everybody shows up for the week, and probably saves us some adminning duties as well, reviewing the race. But either way, we're back to racing here at Pocono, and right now leading the way, Matt Ulmer out there in the 23-year pole sitter, Rob Higgs, Tom Lanier, David Shively, and Chris Sargent for your top 5. And they all started right there in the top 5. Really no change here. Well, no change in the top 5, and really not much in the top 10. Just David Chapman, James Smith swapping 6th and 7th from the start. Robert Altman, Jeremy Gill doing the same thing in 8th and 9th. But we're going to have another caution here. This one looks like it involves Anthony Strickland, Timothy Presley, David Riddle, Carl Fitz, another few trucks involved in this one. We'll see what part out. Looks like the 24, some net code contact right there. Probably about a foot in between the 24 and 22. Really nowhere for the 70 to go. Not enough time to make any kind of reaction. It's going to send the 24 and 22 spinning. I didn't see where David Riddle and Carl Fitz got involved. Right there it is. Just had to wait for it right there. Hard impact right there for the 22, and that surely is what gave Timothy Presley the meatball here tonight. Carl Fitz also with a black flag and the number 18. So going to be on our second caution here on lap number 5.
Yeah, just coming out of that corner and people just trying to get around here tonight. And obviously, this is they call it the tricky triangle for a reason, but no corner is the same. Every entry is different. Every one, some people enjoy turn 1, some people don't like turn 2, and 3 is really flat. So, the tires can even go out really quick at this track, probably faster than you think they would, and you can really move things around. But a few cars or trucks, involved here early on. Again, Anthony, like you said, Anthony Strickland, Timothy Presley, David Riddle, and Carl Fitz. David Riddle jumped into the pits, bringing that number 12 machine in. Already had some pretty heavy damage. But yeah, I think once they get some of these out of the way here early on, we'll get into that longer green flag run here. And hopefully we'll get to see some green flag pit stops. A track, I think, has on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably rate this one maybe around a 2 or a 3. A pretty easy entry here for Pocono. Just the hardest part is just coming off of turn number 3 and kind of getting it down, and with carrying so much speed, getting it slowed down then for that pit entry. But 55 miles an hour, if I'm not mistaken, down through the pit lane. So if I pull this up here, or 50, you can see Strickland holding about 45, 46. He's coming down to his pit stall now and bring it down here for a stop. See what kind of damages that car may need here, or truck may need here for tonight. But maybe just a quick one, maybe using a fast repair, not quite sure. But at least a quick repair, maybe top it off on gas, and away he goes.
Yeah, maybe a little bit higher than a 2 or a 3. It's certainly easy to get into, but it's kind of reminds me of another track where one of the corners that it's modeled after, and that's Indianapolis, which is I believe turn 2 is modeled after an Indianapolis turn, and the pit road is kind of similar in the fact that you come off the final corner, and the pit is easy to get into. It's on the straightaway. There's nothing, it's not like you're getting off the banking or anything like that, so it's easy to get into. But the cones show up very early, and the cones are where you need to be down to pit road speed, or you're going to get a black flag. And here at Pocono, there's no time. You're not inside the walls. The cones are right at the end of pit road, right at the entry there on pit road, right at the beginning. So you got to pay attention to that. As long as you understand that, that's what the case is here, then yeah, everything else is easy as it is. You can see it right there going by the start finish line and the pit entry and the start finish line. But should see, hopefully the pace car lights go out next time by, as it looks like we're still under caution right now. So once again, want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And we got plenty of racing yet to go, as the 224 working to get the lap back there, and doing it the hard way, going down the inside line there. I had to hold my breath there for a second going past the leaders, but made it around there either way. But as I was mentioning, tomorrow night we're going to have the Core O'Reilly Series presented by SimRaces.com, as they're going to be heading to Bristol Motor Speedway for their second race of the season. Then on Wednesday we'll have the CSRL, as they are going to be heading to Long Beach. So a little street circuit action, certainly a track where I'm happier to be up in the booth than be out there in the track. I like road, or I like street circuits almost as much as I like short tracks.
TV only. TV only.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you how much that is. And then the second half of the doubleheader there for us is going to be the final race of the round of 8 for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series. They head to Kansas Speedway, and we'll see who the 4 drivers will be running for the championship at Homestead the following week. Then on Thursday night, we're going to have the Virtual Velocity Racing Series, the Xfinity Series / O'Reilly Series. They're going to be heading to Kansas Speedway as well. And then the second half of that doubleheader is going to be the Core GT Series, as they're going to be heading to Mugello, and only 23% chance of rain this week. So the weather's starting to clear up for the season, let alone for the day, and hopefully they get a nice little dry race there once again. And Mugello is a track that I actually kind of like. I like. I'm not sure what game it was on. It wasn't iRacing. It was before it came to iRacing, and if it was Gran Turismo or if it was Forza, whatever it was always a track that I thought was kind of a fun layout, and I was really happy to see iRacing bring it into the fray here. But we're gonna bring the green flag back in the fray here this time by, and hopefully we'll see some green flag racing and maybe some green flag pit stops eventually. But we do have about half the field already coming in to make a pit stop on lap number 7. So some differing strategies here. Some drivers just coming in taking some fuel, a couple taking some tires. So pretty interesting call right there, as these drivers do have 4 sets of tires, the 1 on the truck and then 3 over the wall. So maybe not too early to take a set of tires, but we'll see if it plays out here, and hopefully we get the green flag to see how long it plays out.
Yeah, I don't think taking tires this early on is detrimental, obviously, because they have 50 laps here tonight, and this thing obviously could stretch out. Lap times go twofold. They're about 2 minutes under caution, and 50 under a minute for a green flag. So it could be a long one if they're under caution too long. But I think the drivers are ready to go here. Hopefully the early bugs or the early caution mongrels are gone. But they're going to get this thing back. We're going to start on board here with the likes of Bryson Anderson back here in P number 15. Let me get that really close up here so you guys can see what I clicked on. Got to go under green. Barney waving that flag here. And down we go towards turn number 1. We're going to be on the outside. Bryson has a driver down on the inside, so we're going to have to take a little higher line, whether they'd like to be on the low line or not. But I'm going to go out there, and the high line's not necessarily a bad thing to turn number 1. You can really carry some speed, especially during the race when your tires get warmed up. You can see just kind of falling in play there as the drivers working their way down this nice wide backstretch.
Yeah, and even though there's long straightaways here, you got the long front stretch, you got the long pond straight, and then you got the little short chute here in between 2 and 3. The field can spread out here at Pocono. We've seen it before where the field will spread out as Bryce Anderson's going to have to chase it up the track, and I think he got a little bit of help on that one. Not sure by whom, but the 32 is going to save it. We're going to stay green on this one, but maybe a little scraped up, a little bumping and banging there for the 32. It looks like Anthony Strickland may be in to serve his penalty. Yes, he is. He's in the pits right now to serve that black flag. And it's one good thing about Pocono is you can come in and serve a black flag if you have to, or even come in off cycle and make a pit stop. You won't go down a lap, but you're going to lose chance of any kind of draft, whether it helps or not, down the straightaways here. But one thing I do gotta say, I mentioned before, I forget who was running a paint scheme like it before. It's a 69 into the wall, and luckily the 31 has the wherewithal to keep it off from there. But a 3 wide battling here into turn number 3. Close, and they're going to survive this here. But I do see a couple of baseball paint schemes out there, as I see the 41 of Matt Bryant out there repping the Tampa Bay Rays paint scheme, and then I see the 17 of Joshua King out there.
Wow.
And the Colorado Rockies paint scheme as well. Certainly wish them both a lot of luck. two tough franchises. I'm assuming to root for. Not that my Phillies have been starting the season off hot at all, but the Rockies always have a little place in my heart, because I just for some reason the purple color really pops compared to every other team that's in baseball, with the blues and the reds and your common colors out there. You got the Rockies with their purple, and it's nice. It's a little change of pace, but they don't play too well out there in Colorado. So hopefully, maybe that's why Joshua Kidd comes out here to try and get some more wins than the Rockies do. But either way, right now it's Matt Ulmer leading the way over Tom Lanier, Rob Higgs, Dave Shively, and David Chapman for your top 5. Chris Sargent, Jeremy Gill, Jeremiah Grau, James Smith, and Joshua King for your top 10. Dalton Smith started 25th in the field. He's up 12 spots in the 97, up to 13th.
Making some moves, and I'm sure taking some advantage of things that have gone on the track, but still working their way through there. He's leading over there over the 115 of Aaron Genske at the moment. So. But yeah, some good battles going on. But I'm trying to give a kind of bird's eye view here. A lot of nose to tail here for the front part of the field here. But the 88 of Chapman looking to go to the 60 inside of 66, but gonna fall on the line. And probably the front straightaway is so wide. A lot of times, especially when we ran like the Indy cars here. You'd see drivers like trying to break that draft and take that momentum away from the car behind, and they end up calling it the Pocono Shuffle because they just snake down these long straightaways to try to break the draft. It's not a track that necessarily needs to be like have a draft buddy. You can drive away, as we've seen up here up front with Matt Ulmer kind of pulling out just a little bit. Tom Lanier out there by himself, and then you got a group of 4. Dave Shively, Rob Higgs, 66 of Chris Sargent, and Dave Chapman, all kind of battling back there. And then, another little group, Jeremiah Grau and the 4 of Jeremy Gill up there now looking to the outside. So, just a lot of good racing going on, and just a lot of track, a lot of different lines they can use. And, it's how much tire and how much fuel you can go to get around here. There's not much saving going around in this track. It's a little more... a little more difficult here, as a lot of these corners are pretty much all out. There is some lifting through the corners, or dragging the brake, or a little of both, whatever your driving style is. But it's always been a pretty decent track, puts on great races, and gives the driver kind of the ability to break away and drive away. And we're seeing that here now as we got some green flag laps under our belt. Here's a lot of drivers are single file throughout the field. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to see if we got any battling back and forth side by side, but we do not. Rachel Sullivan making her way back up through the field, already back up to P number 22, so 224 on
yellow flag.
way, but the yellow flag does look like it's going to happen for
we got a big one here in turn number 3, and it might have started up around Aaron Genske. I've seen Aaron Genske alongside somebody, as this one's going to result in 3 meatballs here, as Robert Altman, Sean McLean, Joe Thomas all had to tow back to pit lane on this one. And right there, the 81 getting into the back of the 6 is what started it, and the 6 then shot off the wall. And gonna go for a bit of a ride here, and this is what started the melee. See heavy impact there for the 6. The 81 had some impact and looked like it just kind of popped back into place. So it looked good for there. Maybe a little damage to the front there, but it's going to look a lot worse here as a 218 Joe Thomas, 94 Robert Altman come in there, then 70 again Don King. Really not much he can do on this one. The 41 comes in there, tried to slow up, but he was on the grass, and then on the apron there, he gets caught up in it. The 224 involved somehow. The 31 of Ronald Cook. Maybe we need to take a look at this one again from his point of view, because it's like nothing happened. He just snuck right through that thing.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and play this part live speed here. As it all happens in front of the 31. I'm sure we'll see smoke. You see cars off to the left here, bouncing, twisting, smoke going. That's up. Just kind of helps him praise. And Yep, Rachel kind of had nowhere to go, so ended up having to hear
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see.
Ronald avoids one here tonight, so if you're looking to be a driver to miss wrecks, Ronald Cook just pulled one off, a fast one here tonight. They're on lap number 15, so third caution of the night. A bunch of cars involved. Go ahead and pull up the tower so you can see if your favorite driver's got a meatball or not, and that's Altman, McLean, and Thomas in there in the pits right now with meatballs. Hopefully, if they towed, that will be cleared up and they'll be back out on the track. But you can see the whole field pretty much coming in. It does look like Rob Higgs decided to stay out, Carl. You know, that's going to be, I guess, a tough one to swallow here. Hopefully, Rob has what it takes to stay up front and use them a little bit older tires here, as we had a little bit of a green flag run there between the last caution and this one. So hopefully, the tires are still good to go. And like I said, I don't have an idea of how long the trucks can go. I'm guessing like 20-ish laps or so. I got in the truck and did a few laps, and it told me I had 25, but it just seemed a little much. So I didn't get a lot of laps in that could kind of get any kind of pace, and I wasn't really hammered down either, trying to like break any blistering speed zones or anything, as I was just trying to get around the track. You're driving normal. So I was just driving normal. Wasn't trying to push the truck to the limit. I wasn't trying to get little walls. I was just trying to, like, you know, kind of more of like a race pace type thing. I was running like 56s, so I mean a little bit slower than what most of these drivers are running here for their best laps. So you get a lot of 55s in here, all the way down through the field. Matter of fact, all the way the top 16 best laps were in the 55s, and then a few drivers in the 56s. So maybe that would have been me tonight in the back of the pack, you know. So it's been, like I said, it's been quite a while since I've been out here with the trucks. But you know, when I come to places like this, I do like to have like tire, and I've found speed at this track. I've just never found speed and been able to keep the tire long enough to be competitive, and that's always been my downfall of Pocono. I always loved driving Pocono because it's, you know, when you're personally been on the track itself, or down in the infield, or sitting in the grandstands, whatever it may be, having a good time, making memories with your family. You know, so it has that place in your heart. But you know, at the end of the day, I just could never. I can't put the two together, Carl. It's either save tires and be slow, or be fast and have no tires at the end. So choose my poison, I guess. And I was just out there giving a little joyride, I guess, here. But we're doubled back up, coming down through turn number 1. They still have to go around 3/4 or 2/3 of the track here, as Rob Higgs is going to be out front. Jeremy Gill's made his way back up to the front as well. And on the outside, it's going to be Jeremiah Crowd, Timothy Presley, Tom Lanier, Matt Ulmer, Aaron Genske, Dalton Smith, Robert White, and Davis Shipley for your top 10 here tonight with Hold Your Brakes Academy.
Yeah, I'm right with you on that. It's an art form, the way I look at it, as to try to be fast and save tires. It makes no sense to me. And I know the whole adage "slow is fast," and it 100% works for me. You know, I've kind of changed my approach a little bit on the road side of it, and try to be a lot more smooth with it, and seems to have gained it. Gave me some speed and some more consistency on the road side of it. On the oval, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know. I just don't get it sometimes. I mean, there's times where I'm out there and I'm like, okay, I'm hanging up there with the big boys, and all of a sudden, you know, 10 laps into the run, if I'm not leading, they're pulling away from me. It makes no sense to me that they're still running those kind of speeds. Whoa. Easy, boys, as we're not even going to get back to the green here, as not even sure if the green flag dropped, but we're going to be right back under yellow. And for Rob Higgs, I mean, the way this has gone here so far early on, maybe staying out there is the right call. I mean, he's going to try and make that truck last 50 laps. Going to keep being able to save this thing under fuel, or under yellow, save some fuel.
Yeah, 23 getting into 222 and just creates that accordion right from the start. So go back here one more time. Go back here. 22 checking up, bumps to 20. The 23 gets to the 22 on the inside, and then back here with Aaron Genske, it's enough to get tapped there by Looks like that's at the 85 there.
85 is Chevrolet, yep.
Yeah, and then 115 catches the 99. It causes a kind of a mess up here. So some slow hocus pocus going on back here. Just a mess, as you can see here from the 81. Oops, wrong book camera. As he gets into the 70, just the slowest big one ever, Carl. That's how, I guess, how you could put it.
Yeah, I mean, at least everyone did what the league name is, and that's hold your brakes. It looked like everybody that was involved in the incident there at least held their brakes to try and avoid more. But yeah, this was a bit of a rough one, and the accordion certainly was in effect there, as it looked like some drivers just trying to catch up and trying to kind of queue up and get ready for the restart, but just a little bit too aggressive in doing so. And you want the drivers to be up there and close for the restart, but sometimes leaving a vehicle gap in between is the better option. You're not going to win the race here on lap number 20, and by staying on somebody's bumper on the start, it's not going to make that much of a difference. If you're faster, you'll find a way around. As see, Rob Haig's now coming around. He's going to come into pit lane to make his first pit stop of the race.
Yeah, and right around that 20 lap mark, and obviously, I don't know how many laps he could have done, but probably, setting himself up for a little bit longer of a run. Maybe they can do that 25 laps, and maybe just if he can come in now and the cautions fall, the others can't stay out as long. So 14 coming in, top off here, relinquishing the lead. Is it the choice he needs to make right now? Well, I don't know. He's going to find himself towards the back of the field and have to work up through the field. So definitely some heads-up driving on his way. But that's going to leave the likes of the 4 of Jeremy Gill up front, with Timothy Presley, number 22 on the outside, Jeremiah Grau, Matt Ulmer, David Shipley for your top 5 for this next year's event.
I think the biggest thing that kind of stretches it out here at Pocono is the pace laps are so long around this track. It is the length of a super speedway. It's 2.5 miles, and it always seems like there's an extra caution lap that's kind of not needed. And that's why I was kind of wondering if the pace car lights were going to go off the last time that they had the caution there, and they didn't go out right away. So it's just I'll wait, and it's just you got to wait a little bit longer to get this thing going. So hopefully, once we do get back going, we'll get this thing under some green flag conditions for quite some time. As Jimmy mentioned, Jeremy Gill up there in the lead right now. Timothy Presley in second, started back there in 18th position. So he's got the 22 up there hunting for his second victory of the season, and second one on, if you want to consider a super speedway. He won the first race at Daytona, 2.5 miles. Maybe he just likes the 2.5 mile tracks here. Don King, biggest mover of the race, up 18 spots after starting in 26th. Then you got Anthony Strickland up 14, starting back there in 24th. He's up to 10th. And even Joe Thomas was involved in a wreck earlier in the night, started back in 22nd. He's up 10 spots into 12th as the field catches back up to the pace car. But I believe we're still going to be under caution for another lap. Nope, pace car lights are out. So we will get this thing back underway next time by, as we are nearing the halfway point. Still not there quite yet. Still a couple of laps away.
Yeah, it seems lately, Carl, and not just here at Hold Your Brakes Academy, the starts throughout the, I don't know, maybe it's something in the air on iRacing. The starts for a few of the leagues have been challenging.
It's a full moon last a week long, because I know we had some issues last week here, and we had some issues last week at the Core O'Reilly series as well. It just seems like, the bug is in the air, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe Barney's waving the flag and throwing some oil down there as well, because it's been a little bit slick trying to get these drivers back up to speed. But hopefully this will be the last time we talk about it. We'll get some green flag running in here. Jeremy Gill, Timothy Presley on the front row. Jeremiah Grau, Matt Ulmer, David Shipley for your top 5, James Smith, Shane King, Don King, Rob Higgs Jr., and Anthony Strickland are going to be your top 10 for the restart.
Yeah, I mean, even with the restarts kind of looming, I've told the core drivers that I've been overruled, but got a heavy implementation of penalties to be handed out if so need to be, if we need to go extreme, but hopefully they don't want that. I mean, I know a lot of drivers will want that, but we're going to get started here. 22, giving the 22 a little bit of a shot here. Start here, maybe some with a little better start than others in the back as they're kind of rolling forward. Some of the drivers mid-pack. So I don't know if anybody got a black flag for that restart.
I'm looking, no, I think they went up through the middle, so they passed cars on the outside, which is technically led by iRacing. But yeah, a little bit of a jump there from the back from some of the drivers as we head now down on the backstretch here along Pond Straight. As getting a little bit crazy here. Once again, heading into the tunnel turn. Hopefully, cautions don't start breeding cautions here once we get back to racing, because again, we still have half a race to go. There's still plenty of time to move your way up through the field. Some drivers on some different strategies when it comes to tire taking here, as Timothy Presley has now taken the lead from Jeremy Gill as you get shuffled back to third. Jeremiah Grau up to second, is actually both the Jeremy and Jeremiah battling for second right now.
Yeah, we'll move back up there. I was just that mid pack is always interesting when restarts, and the leaders usually get it figured out pretty easily. And obviously we missed the change there, but Timothy Presley is like, I'm out of here, get away from me. I'm gonna drive this thing. I got 26 more laps to go, and I'm pretty sure there's still a caution or caution window. Green flag pit stop window in here yet for the night, so we're gonna hopefully we'll find that out here as they work their way around. But some shifting around, but another caution might fly, and Rob Higgs gets involved here as part of his truck goes missing in this one here. The yellow flag will fly here on lap number 24. Rachel Sullivan being involved along with Anthony Strickland. So we'll go ahead and see what happened back here with Rob. Just slow things. Oh, it's up in front of him.
Oh yeah, Don King right there in the 70. He ended up getting a meatball on this. You see Rob Higgs trying to figure out if he can sneak through the outside there, and ultimately couldn't. I think right there, that bang by the 24 in the front left wheel well is what is going to give the meatball to Don King. But it looks like maybe Don King was a little bit loose, and maybe the 115 leaning on the back bumper. I believe it was 115 at least, and you see it right here. Rob Higgs thought he could sneak to the outside. Not the case, though, as he gets involved in this one. And nope, that block doesn't fit in there. That's a round peg or a square peg trying to go in a round hole, something like that. But Don King going to walk away with a meatball on this one, as meatballs are plenty. I mean, I had them for dinner here tonight, so I guess maybe the drivers, smelled it, went a little bit themselves.
It's the pasta. Rough one here at Pocono, and they call it the tricky triangle for a reason, but just getting a little bit loose and checking up, and everybody likes to carry that speed to try to keep going through, and it's hard to slow these things down, and you've seen how fast it was, like right there in front of Rob Higgs. I mean, we'll go full speed here, just right on the nose, and they see the truck swerving, and then it's trying to make a decision, and he lets up, but just not quite enough space there to get by. He ends up getting through, but taking some damage. And, it just happens that fast. We get the benefit of being able to go back and rewatch it and slow it down and rewind it another angle and kind of catch what's kind of going on, and for the viewers out there. But drivers having some challenges here with the tricky triangle, whether it's starts getting a little loose coming off a corner, or checking up for one of their other drivers out there. But this is more of a starter league, and they have a lot of great racing, and they've done it for a few seasons now, and they keep coming back and challenging themselves, and continue to maybe mix up the vehicle a little bit, mix up the tracks a little bit, and keep challenging these newer drivers out here to learn. And this is part of it. Obviously, no, everybody can pace and they don't want to eye pace, I guess, if that's what some of the drivers call it.
Well, watch your mouth on that, Jimmy, because we've seen some dumb things before, right? Not everybody can pace. You would think so.
This is. I want to say. I want to give everybody the benefit that everybody can pace. And they would love to go faster than 60, 70 miles an hour as they work their way around the track. So, Colonel, I mean, it is a challenging track. I mean, like I said, when I was out there, I was not trying to go all out because I know how challenging some of the corners can be. Do I remember them? Yes. Do I remember how it felt? No. So, trying to drive the truck, I got about 10 laps in, I think. Before we started things up. So, but I mean, it can be challenging, and it's just probably at that point where my tires were probably pretty beat up, or at least warmed up to the point where the truck, if it was going to do something, it would be predictable enough I know it would be tight coming out of the corner, whether I need to, drag the brakes through a corner, get the truck to turn, whatever it may be. But we're got 24 laps to go here, so just past the halfway mark, so still some great racing opportunities here for the field. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came in, or somebody that maybe came in, maybe the likes of Fitz, coming in maybe to top off fuel and make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, we are past the halfway point now, as we got 24 laps to go. It'll be 23 when we get the green flag. So it's close, if not maybe in the window here, but not too many trucks came in to get any kind of fuel. I mean, back in the back of the pack, you have Rob Higgs and Anthony Strickland came in on lap number 25. Looking back further in the pits, like he's mentioned, Carl Fitz in there right now, topping off on fuel, coming back out there here on lap number 26. So maybe on the outside here, being able to get this thing all the way to the end. But Jimmy, for that, we need some green flag running, and hopefully we'll get to see it here, as we're going to step aside here since we're past the halfway point and give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it.
A little love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here from the Hold Your Brakes Academy, race number 5 at Pocono Raceway, and unfortunately a couple more caution flags in the midst there as well. But we're getting closer to the end of this thing now, as we're going to get this restart here with 12 laps to go here in the race. But at Pocono, there's still plenty of racing yet to go around this 2.5 mile track, as we got a blinker there as Jeremy Gill. No surprise there. Jeremy Gill blinking in and out. Apparently, they still really didn't fix his internet issues, as our resident blinker here back in action here. But he's restarting in third. Joe Thomas is your control truck, starting in first, and we're back to racing. Somehow they stay away from that. I thought for sure the 218 got turned to the outside wall there, but looks like we will be back to racing here and back into turn 1 under green.
Yeah, people getting a little antsy, I think, at the start, Carl. Obviously, the green is on, the leader. So when they get antsy, and they underestimate, when he's going to go, and they start early, and that's when the whole big checkups start happening. So, obviously with lots of time to go, and as a newer driver, restarts can be painful, or they can be good all the time. But it's really just kind of being patient. And it's the thing is about being patient with them is, if you catch somebody sleeping, you can catch a pretty early position pretty quickly. But if not, you can find yourself in an incident and be sitting the race out really early. So that's kind of fine line to walk, restarts. And I think that's where a lot of areas. I was watching a clip on YouTube today where the guy, it was an ARCA race, and the guy was in the wrong gear, and they went to leave the pits and jammed on the gas, and the guy went backwards. It gave like 2 people like a 4X before they even left the pits. So
nice.
It does happen. Mistakes are made, and sometimes people do it on purpose too, which is not cool. And the officials are kind of weird. Like, say if I was running trucks, I don't have setups, I'm gonna run fixed. So they run, I think, every hour or something like that, and a race lasts about 30 minutes. But you get out here and you wreck on like turn 1, and your race is done. And so if you're somebody that likes to stream for your viewers out there or family or whatever, what do you do in that 50 minutes as you're getting your truck repaired, and you don't get you have a bad race or whatever? It's a long time to kind of sit around if you don't have anything other to do. You have to be, if you're somebody that likes to put out content and share with the public, you're out there trying other things, and get your feet wet, and maybe trucks weren't your day that time, and so you move to the B car, or whatever your license may allow you to do. I mean, if all else fails, you can do draft masters, which a lot of people have fun doing. It's that super speedway thing without the risk of your license, or safety, because they're not official, or they're official, but they're not ranked. But right now, Timothy Presley has made his way to the front, but we have another one going here. Here's the 48 Jeremy Grau. Catches the wall once. Catches Joe Thomas. That's a bigger one. Whoa, yellow flag.
And 70. It's not done just yet. That's going to be at least probably 2 or 3 meatballs on this one. As taking a little bit to pop up here. Looks like only Joe Thomas. Nope, there we go. Another one. Jeremiah Grau, 48 with a meatball, and you see it right there.
Yeah, it's actually started before this. And you see there just the 4 Jeremy Gill coming up. Just maybe no.
Yeah, little tap right there.
Just
got the 48 sideways coming out of the corner.
Not quite clear yet. There, it's clear, but then the overcorrection.
And you see him already trying to turn back to the left. I mean, he's hard to the left right there, but unfortunately it's already pointing towards the wall. It's going to slap the wall. And he's still turning to the left, so it's going to turn him right back down into the field, unfortunately.
14 gets
and that's where the big melee ends up happening, as Shane King kind of smushes the rear end of the 218 in there. The 115, your points leader, gets involved in this one as well. The 64, the 85, the 41. About half the field are going to get involved in this one here, and the 70 comes sliding in there late with a big impact as well. So we're going to be under another caution here, and when we get this thing back restarted, it should be around 5 laps to go.
Yeah, the Jeremiah Grell not looking too good in that 48 as it smokes as he gets trying to get back around the track. Part of the fender missing. The steering is all jacked up. Hopefully there's a fast repair waiting in the pits for that number 48.
You don't think he should try and finish this race? I mean, listen, we've seen drivers sideways complete this race before, but yeah, I don't think that thing is going to last to the end of this thing.
That was probably one of the more memorable races for that. I forget who it was, but that driver was crabbing like for 10 laps. And actually finished it fairly well. We were really kind of impressed how well he was able to hold on to it for the remainder of our race. I think we ended up talking to him because of it. It was definitely something to see for somebody do that. But the 48 does have a fast repair. So
I mean, look at that pit crew. It's a classy pit crew. So of course they got a fast repair in there.
So the fast repair is good to go there for the number 48. So still has a little bit of time to try to make up some ground as he gets back out there, but it does look like Timothy Presley gonna bring that 22 into the pits this time by Carl. So I don't know if he caught some damage or serving a penalty maybe. I don't quite know.
No penalties, and okay. I don't think he was involved in the incident there, but could be wrong. Maybe. I mean, there's quite a few trucks that got involved in this one for the late race caution, as we're down to 7 laps to go right now as it stands, but still got a couple more here under caution before we get back going. So it'll be either 5 or just less than 5 laps to go when we get the green flag, get back out. Chris Sargent is your new leader here. Matthew Ulmer in second. They got Jeremy Gill in third. Hopefully he can stay blink free to the end here and try and get himself a win. David Chapman.
I'd love to give Jeremy some camera time, but every time he goes on here, he messes the cameras up. So we got to see him from far. Get him in view from other vehicles. But hopefully one day Jeremy will succeed in getting that internet fixed. So he doesn't have any of the issues. Hasn't been too bad, but we've definitely.
It's not for lack of trying.
No,
I mean, we constantly are abreast of all the internet issues for Jeremy Gill, always letting us know what's going on, what they're doing, what they're not doing, all the BS that they're giving them over the phones. It's quite a drama. It would make a heck of a telenovela for Jeremy Gill. But either way,
it could be an HBO movie.
Well, I'd say pay-per-view, but pay-per-blink maybe.
I'd be rich.
Well, either way, we should be lights out on the pace car this next time by. Hopefully we'll keep an eye on that pace car at the front. The 66 of Chris Sargent is going to stay out here, so he is going to be your control truck for the restart. Looking to try and become the 5th different winner here on the season as the pace car lights are out. We're going to double it up here, hopefully for the last time here, get one more restart and finish this thing out here at Pocono.
I'll leave it on the screen for a little bit, but it's a pretty good, I'm going to say a pretty good spoiler on the back of this truck here. It's Chris Sargent.
Take a look on the broadcast, and yes, it is something about it. Something about it just sticks out. Well, it's certainly not that we're pulling for anybody to win here, but nothing's caught my eye on that thing. But either way, it is. It's good. It's like he knew where he put the camera on the truck for the night.
Yeah, I tend to move the cameras around on the vehicles, to be on like the top, like instead of the nose. Typically, if you're in iRacing, it's like right on the ground on the bumper looking forward. I like to bring it up, kind of give the hood a little bit, so you can see the hood, and then obviously the gear. I changed the gearbox instead of looking out the back bumper, right off the gearbox. It's right on the back of the hood, so. Anybody displays anything on their spoilers or even on the back there is shown in the broadcast. So, wink, wink. Like anybody looking for advertisement? Like yeah. So it's definitely a place to put the stuff if you pay attention to where I put the cameras for my broadcasts, anyways, out there. But truck's looking good tonight. Everybody always does a real good job for whoever does some of these paints, and whether it's off of Trading Paints or you threw something together using iRacing with their iRacing decals or that they have on there. But yeah, always love to see what drivers can come up with for their sponsors that they get for the season and whatnot. But we're gonna go racing one more time here. So we come down, we'll have 5 laps to go. Let's get it done, boys.
5 laps to go here at Pocono, and again, even 5 laps is still quite a long way, but you see the field starting to diminish here just a little bit, a little less trucks than we started with, as right now I want to say we got maybe about 20 trucks out there on the track. A few of them have to serve black flag penalties. Joe Thomas in there with a meatball flag. It looks like he is going to be done for the night, as he is still trying to get that thing repaired without a fast repair. Up front, battle for the lead. Ulmer, your pole sitter here tonight, goes to the inside, gets into the 66. A great save by Sargent, but that's going to shove Ulmer back a little bit, and Blicky McGee out in front right now. Jeremy Gill trying to blink his way away from the field. Ulmer in second. Then you got Rob Higgs now going to have a battle on the inside. Nope, looks like the 88 just not a good enough run for Chapman there, exiting the corner. But behind them, 22 of Presley and the 94 of Robert Altman battling for the last spot in the top 5 as they head back into 1.
Get down to 1, 4 laps to go here at Pocono. A few more laps to kind of get this thing tackled out. It's been a rough one here for some of the drivers for sure, and trying to finish this thing out. We had the tower up here, you can see the amount of drivers that have, 1 lap down. You got black flags, some meatballs out there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers out, 2 with meatballs, so that's 8 there. So Jimmy Grauba, Ulmer goes for a ride here. So add in the fray here, maybe some extra laps, as we were down to 4 laps to go, and the 23 goes for a ride. So we'll go ahead and see what happened here to the number 23.
Looks like the 14 maybe either trying to get a side draft or thinking that he's clear to pull up behind the 23, but it's a pretty bad hook right there to Matt Ulmer. Is going to spin him around. Some heavy damage there to the 23. Going to bring us under another late race caution here. Jeremiah Grau was in the pits there. He was able to get his black flag cleared, so he'll get back out there on the track and be, I believe, we're going to be 1 lap down. Right now we got 14 trucks on the lead lap. We're looking at the 14th place truck right now. So we'll see if Matt Ulmer has enough time to get some repairs done and maybe get back into this thing. But right now, Jeremy Gill is your leader. Rob Higgs, David Chapman Jr., Timothy Presley, Robert Altman for the top 5, Joshua King, Anthony Strickland, Shane King, Tom Lanier, James Smith for your top 10, as we're looking at overtime here at Pocono.
Yeah, we're going to go into overtime, so they're going to get their first green-white checker here of the night. And, all for naught, Carl. I mean, Rachel had her fair share of being involved in incidents tonight, and, sitting in P number 15, actually up 4 spots from the start here, and maybe even be able to get the lucky dog. And, yeah, she is. She's going to get lucky dog as she's going down to the inside to make those passes and trying to
there you go, work your way to the outside. Outside is where you should be going. There you go. Much easier on the outside.
Yeah, a lot easier down the outside. And, when maybe if you're side by side, sometimes you just want to start moving forward and work their way through. But she manages her way through the field, getting up there, getting ready to take that wave around here, get that lucky dog, and is going to do so now as they cross the start-finish line. So 224 back on the lead lap. So good job there for Rachel here tonight, being able to overcome a lot of situations here tonight and work that 224 back up on the lead lap. So, it's perseverance, Carl, at this point for a lot of drivers trying to survive and make their way through. So now they're turning this, this P15 currently, and maybe even be able to snag a couple more spots here. She has the opportunity, to kind of even come in the pits, I believe. She had a set of tires that she wanted to take, or more damage she wanted to get repaired if she had some. She's got options being the lucky dog. Now she will start the back the longest line, so the odds of maybe getting a position are up to staying out of any calamity that might happen in those final laps. And the way things are going and the way the races are raced tonight, they got the elbows out, they got the chrome bumpers on, all shined up here to put to the bumpers, so should be a pretty interesting finish here for the drivers here at Hold Your Brakes Academy at Pocono.
I don't think there's any more shine on any of the bumpers here tonight. And yeah, just the fact that Rachel's back on the lead lap, definitely a chance to pick off a few more positions if there's any more cautions to the end of this thing. Is this going to be green, white, checkered attempt? 1 of 3. So we very well may not be near the end of this thing just yet, as this is just the first restart. Hopefully this is the last restart of the night and we can get this thing done and dusted, and we'll see who is the winner here tonight, who's going to get it done. And again, your winners so far on the season: Timothy Presley winning the season opener. He is up there in 4th position. Tom Lanier won race number 2, not out there here tonight. Joshua King is up there in 6th. He won race number 3. Oh yeah, Tom Lanier back there in 13th. Yep. Joshua King won race number 3. He is up there in 6th position. And then Aaron Genske, your points leader, is back a few laps down in 18th position. So probably the best bet is maybe Timothy Presley to try and get 2 wins on the season. Otherwise, we are looking at a 5th different winner through 5 races.
Yeah, and we talked about iPacing, Carl. Not quite sure what happened here.
It looks like the 115 maybe having to go to the back of the field for whatever reason. And then I went to pull back up, not realizing that the 224 was still there. And we just talked about Rachel getting back on the lead lap and hopefully getting any extra damage repaired that she needed done. Well, maybe she has more damage now, unfortunately, as, yeah, there you go, another incident. And that's from your points leader. That is your points leader, 115, spinning himself around here in the back, and now got some major damage to go on top of the few laps down that he is right now, as we'll get you back up here live. Get ready for the restart, and again, hopefully last restart of the night. We'll see how it plays out. Pace car lights are out. It's going to be in control here for Jeremy Gill as they head on to the front stretch. Rob Higgs Jr. on the outside. Timothy Presley, David Chapman making up row number 2. As we head to the restart zone, and we are back to racing here at Pocono.
Working their way through the gears here as they head down the turn number 1. Looks like a pretty okay start there from the front of the pack. We'll move back here towards mid-pack here as Rachel is sending it down turn 1 and going a little wide there as trying to get a run here to maybe gain a couple positions here. As she's in that 15th position trying to move forward here tonight. As obviously the battle in front of her is pretty big. You got 13 other drivers up there looking to make spots here as she's trying to make her way around here in the 224, but smoke's flying, letting up on the gas. Oh, she's got to pick up a few spots here, able to work her way through that smoke field as another caution flies here. They weren't able to get around to the start-finish line to get that last part here, and Matt, or number 94, got some major damage. So we'll go ahead and see what happened there with some of these vehicles. Another caution flying here tonight. Been an interesting one for sure. We'll go back and check this one out. Oh, you see the 22 getting into the 88 up front, but they were able to kind of keep it clean there. But the 17 and 22 end up getting together. 17 going to the wall with a 22. Chapman gets involved. A 94 nowhere to go. Runs into them. The 31 works their way around. 8 and 24 getting into the 88. So some cars taking some more damage here. I see the 24 getting tossed around by the 20, getting rear-ended by the 23. Wow, the 6 barely got out of that one.
And past that one.
Woo!
Yeah, again, nothing to see if you're on board with the 6. Nothing happened. Everything's nice and clean. But a couple more drivers involved in this one, and taking a look here to see. Looks like we got Robert Altman. He is going to end up getting a meatball with that one, and not sure if he's got a fast repair left or not. His crew, good-looking crew, but maybe not as spiffy as the crew right behind him, right there, wearing a suit and tie out to the track, and looks like the 94 is still sitting there, so maybe getting some repairs done. Timothy Presley had to tow back to pit lane after that one. Didn't have a meatball, but jumped to pit lane, so maybe just calling it a night here tonight. Is 31.88. Going to come down pit road from 5th and 6th position. So we're running out of chances to get this thing green, as this is going to be green-white checkered attempt number 2, the 48. Jeremiah Grau going to get a lap back on this one, and is that going to put him back on the lead lap? And I think it's going to put him back to 1 lap down.
Let's pull the tower here. Growl is now on the lead lap.
Okay, there we go. So we're back to 14 drivers on the lead lap, but Jeremy Gill looking to again become the 5th different winner here this evening, as now with Timothy Presley being kind of knocked out of it now, Joshua King is kind of the last remaining winner here on the season to have a chance of going for his 2nd win of the season. Otherwise, we're looking at 5 different winners.
Yeah, and that's one thing about a newer league. A lot of people still learning is that the opportunities for wins and great finishes are there. I mean, we're still obviously you've seen some of the incidents obviously throughout the night here. Not helping some of those drivers out, but Rachel Sullivan, right? I don't want to jinx her, but because she's got back on the last lap and already up there in P number 11, so. Kind of a good comeback story there, 4 to 224, just to kind of keep plugging at it and keep going, and trying to even getting involved with some of the incidents that wasn't her fault. Carl Fitz up 14 spots, so that's your biggest mover of the night actually right now, and that number 18 in the top 10 and currently in 9th. Shane King has done a good job getting the 60 up through the field here tonight. He's up 11 spots. Joshua King's up 9 spots. And even Anthony Strickland is still on the lead lap here. Last truck. Nope, there's one more. Just Jeremiah Grau still on the lead lap. But Anthony up 11 spots. So getting a pretty decent finish here. Should get a pretty decent finish here before this thing's all said and done, as long as he can keep that number 24 Quaker State machine clean until the end. So. But Jeremy Gill up 7 spots is your current leader, with Rob Higgs in P number 2, Shane King in 3rd, Joshua King's in 4th, and James Smith. Pretty quiet here tonight for the number 64, but sitting in the top 5.
Once again, I want to thank our sponsors here for the season, and that being Meats and Sweets, Mid-Tier Racing, Backbone Candle Company, PinUpServets.com as the title sponsor, and then SM Racing Products. And I want to thank everybody out there for tuning into the race here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything SCRN has to offer, as we'll have the Core O'Reilly Series tomorrow night. We'll have the doubleheader on Wednesday, doubleheader on Thursday, and then we'll be back to full speed, as we're going to have the 191 Motorsports coming back on Sunday night, starting this coming Sunday. So a full slate of action here once again, at least for a week, because that week will be the season finale for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series. But right now, we're going to try and end this thing. This is the 2nd attempt of 3 for green, white checkers here. Will this be the last restart? Will we have one more? I think we have one more, Jimmy. Do we go under another Love to Hear It? I feel like we had a little bit of green flag running under Love to Hear It. I know we had a couple cautions, but maybe one of our green flag runs was under there just to help them out. I don't know. I don't know at this point. But either way, pace car lights are out, making that left-hand turn one more time, as may have the most laps led here tonight, unfortunately. But right now, the 4 is your leader. back on the loud pedal and back to racing here in Pocono.
Yeah, Jeremy Gill getting a good start here out front, and everybody wanting to get by with very limited time remaining. 2 laps to go at the moment. They need to make that checkered flag here. So as we watch the field go down through turn number 1, we see a lot of 2 wide going, pushing 3 wide. The track is that wide, but the trucks get tight. Another tight move there is the number who's that? The 48 goes to the outside. So a lot of drivers looking for different lines to try to get things to work here. They need to just take it easy. They're down, working their way across the tunnel turn right now, heading towards turn number 3, and then they just need to make it down the front stretch. Will they survive turn number 3? It's a very flat kind of turn, and looks like they're able to. The front is able to make it through so far. As they're trying to get the run, looking down through. Maybe get a little bit of Pocono shuffle. Did they cross this? The white flag's out. The
white flag
66
is in the air. 1 more lap to go. We're not going to have a caution for the 66er. He's going to spin into pit road and get a black flag on top. But Rob Higgs is your leader heading out of turn number 1. Looking for his first win on the season. Jeremy Gill right there behind him. Needs to get a good rotation through the tunnel turn to have any kind of hope. Shane King, meanwhile, right back there in 3rd. As we head into the tunnel turn for the final time. Definitely a better run for the 4 as he's going to close in a little bit of ground here on the 14. You see that 4 getting a little bit closer. Will he have a moment to send it here into 3? Higgs drives it in there a little bit deep to 4.
Linear sideways.
Getting a little bit of a run, but not good enough. Out of the corner, Rob Higgs Jr. going to take home the win here tonight. Jeremy Gill going to come home 2nd. Shane King coming home in 3rd. And it looks like James Smith, Jeremiah Grau, your top 5, as Grau was your, I believe, your lucky dog recipient to get back on the lead lap. Comes all the way back to 5th place. So a great comeback for him. Ronald Cook, David Chapman Jr., Anthony Strickland, Rachel Sullivan gets herself a top 10 here tonight in 9th, and then Carl Fitz finishing in 10th. As you see right there, Tom Lanier, hard impact on the final lap.
Yeah, it was a tough break. He got down there on that grass trying to get the thing rotated, but he was managing a drift all through turn 3 and wasn't able to catch it there. And I don't know if that blink had anything to do with it, but a good finish here for the front as they were able to get across that start-finish line before the 66 ended up spinning down the front stretch and almost causing for that last green-white checker to come out. But yeah, rough one here tonight. Just a lot of drivers not finishing. I think about half the field ended up parking it just to go down with the run down here as Rob Higgs celebrates this rough one here at Pocono in the mountains in Pennsylvania. But we'll go ahead and show the results of the race and where your favorite driver might have finished here tonight. So here's the rundown of tonight's race. Winner is going to be the number 14 of Rob Higgs Jr. with Jeremy Gill in 2nd, Shane King in 3rd, James Smith brings it home in 4th, Jeremiah Grau finishes in 5th, Ronald Cook in 6th, David Chapman in 7th, Anthony Strickland in 8th, and a great comeback tonight for the number 224, Rachel Sullivan in the top 10 in 9th, Carl Fitz in 10th, Joshua King in 11th, Chris Sargent in 12th, Tom Lanier in 13th, Van Omer in 14th, Aaron Genske in 15th, Dalton Smith in 16th, Robert Altman back there in 17th, Timothy Presley in 18th. Rest of the field here is going to be at 19th, Sean McLean, Matt Bryant, Joe Thomas, David Shively, Bryson Anderson, Don King, Robert White, David Riddle, and Grant Folsom for your 27 truck field here at Pocono.
Yeah, the race was originally scheduled for 65 laps. With the overtimes here, we almost went 65 to begin with. They did lower it to 50, but we had a couple of overtimes here tonight. But we did get our race done and dusted, and we did get it under green at least, and didn't use all 3 restarts here. So we got our top 3 here in for their interviews. And Jimmy, your 3rd place finisher here tonight, and I feel like we don't get a chance to talk to him too much. It's gonna be the 60 of Shane King.
Hey, Shane, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Hey guys, I almost forgot what y'all sounded like.
We were just talking about that. It's been a while since we've had you up here, not talking to you on the side or you're live on the air. So a little rough one here tonight is I think the pace car is in the running for the most laps led here tonight, but you guys able to finish this thing out here and you walked away in a third place finish. Kind of give us a rundown of tonight and some maybe teaching points for the drivers here that when they go back to rewatch this thing.
Yeah, I really don't know what was causing all the yellows. I mean, it's a big, wide track. There's plenty of room for everybody. I know we had some problems on a restart that collected a lot of cars. We're gonna have to go back and look at that because that was something up at the front. Somebody just basically, from what everyone was saying behind, somebody up front just basically stopped and it checked up the whole field right as as we were coming to the restart. And that's been a sticking issue for this league this season. And, I kind of hit on it in my race day announcement, but it seems like whenever we take a week off, man, we come back and everybody forgets how to get around a track.
It's gotta knock those cobwebs back off, and hopefully next week will be better. I mean, obviously you're able to survive and work your way back up through the field, getting involved in a few things yourself, but you finish this one off here with a pretty decent finish, up 11 spots from your qualifying, so it's always good to see drivers moving up through the field. So we want to recognize that, say congratulations, and hopefully things will be better next week, but we're going to give you some time for any shout outs you might have on the number 60.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all's broadcast. I listen to them regularly to reminisce about when we used to have these conversations regularly. Not so much anymore, but I will try to do better. I was telling guys in Discord that it seems like I alternate seasons. So I'll have a decent season or a good season, and then the next season will be complete garbage. And then the next season I'll run decent. And I think I'm just on one of those off cycles. So, but let me get to my shout outs. I know we're running a little later than normal. So let me get to my shout outs so you can get to the other top two finishers. So I'd like to shout out Meats and Sweets, being a great league sponsor, barbecue sponsor out of Georgia, Backbone Candle Company. Make sure to check them out on Instagram. They have all kinds of candle scents. I was joking around with them and said we need a race fuel one, and they actually have one. And they also have diesel fuel.
I might need to get that.
Yeah, so make sure to check them out. Obviously, Mid-Tier Racing, I'm glad they're sponsoring the league because it's a rolling commercial for them anyway up front. Marty's iRacing Paint Shop. The paint on my truck, he did awesome paints. I appreciate him and his paint shop stepping up to sponsor the league. Pinups for Vets, as always. And I would like to thank everyone that watches these broadcasts. I know sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow watching these guys and going, what was that? But I appreciate everybody that sticks it out with us and enjoys the races. And I appreciate the guys that race here. I mean, sometimes it's not so pretty, but I still appreciate all of them, and I hope they're learning something from whatever's happening. As long as somebody's learning, I think I can live with it a little better. And I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's always good to see drivers overcome, and then obviously there is some shout outs you can go back and watch, and drivers that got involved early and were able to kind of persevere and get back in the lead lap and make some positions even after some early faults. So people are learning. I think it's just obviously hard to think of in the moment, but you walk away third place again. Congratulations, man. I appreciate the shout outs as always, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Yes, sir.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 60 of Shane King. Next, we'll bring in our just kidding, Jeremy. You were blinking a little bit for us earlier in the race, but second place finisher here tonight, Jeremy Gill. Jeremy, a little bit of a sputter there midway through the race with the blinking, but that truck was fast here at the end, and it stayed nice and clear for us on the screen. But Jimmy's still afraid to put you as the car on the camera because if he does and it blinks out, it gets all wonky. But hey, you get up here in second place tonight.
You're going to have to take that up with Barry.
You're right. You're right on that. I'll see him tomorrow. He's coming over tomorrow, so we'll talk about it. But talk to me about the race here tonight, and tell me, how this thing played out. Certainly, another one that was a little bit rough for you guys out there, and it was just kind of survival and making sure you're at the front at the right time.
Well, I knew by the first, I would say first run, but more like the third, second 2-lap run, that passing was going to be incredibly hard here. The trucks, I'm not a fan of the trucks, me personally. I know that hurts one of y'all's hearts. I'm not a fan of them personally, but because they're pretty hard to pass in. But the passing was going to be difficult, and I recognized that. So I made the strategy the strategy call of track position is everything. So I only took one set of tires that race just to maintain as much track position as I could. And we didn't get the win, but a second place with one set, I take that as a win myself. So that was the name of the game all night. And I hate that I got into Jeremiah on the exit of 3. My major apologies for that, but it was a good race. A lot of ups and downs. Really not much I can say about it other than just track position, man. That was the name of the game tonight.
Yeah, Jeremiah had a heck of a comeback and got himself back on the lead lap and finished in the top 5. But yeah, it was some tough racing and some close racing with a lot of the drivers out there. And as wide as this track is, a lot of times everybody just kind of funnels back to the same spot. And I think that happened quite a bit here tonight, and maybe just a little bit too close to racing for some of the drivers out there. But you get it done here tonight. You finish up there in second place. So Pocono now is done and dusted, and you guys are going to head to Watkins Glen next week. So what do you have for the road course?
I don't really know. I know last season I did pretty well there until I didn't. So I'm looking to kind of redeem myself this season and at least get a top 3 there. I'm not expecting a win. I'm really not a road ringer. Just missing all them races that I've missed. I really got to dig myself out of a massive hole. So just going to be focusing on that and shooting for top 3s as much as possible. It's going to be really hard to do as long as Timmy's out there. I mean, he's super quick, super fast. I hate that his night ended the way it is, but looked good for my points. So as a teammate, that really hurts to say, but love the kid to death.
Well, that did. Hopefully this gets you maybe up a little bit closer, if not into the top 10, and you can start eking your way back into this thing. We're only a third of the way through the championship, so still got some time to get it done, but you're going to have to get it done certainly in the Finger Lakes region next week up there at Watkins Glen, just to at least hold position for a little bit. But either way, before we let you go here tonight, and before you blink again, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
So I'd like to give a shout out to Rob. It's been a win's been a long time coming. I'm not real sure about anything that went on with him throughout the race, but at the end of the day, he still crossed that checkered line first. So big shout out to Rob. I also like to give out a shout out to the Backbone Candle Company, MIPS, and Pin Up for Vets, and Hold Your Brakes Academy. So without our sponsors, none of this would be possible. So massive shout out to them. Also like to give a shout out to Mid-Tier Racing, all the guys on the race team. There's quite a few of us, but the motto is for us is we like to race with friends. So we have fun doing it. And we're looking forward to next week.
Everybody, well, congrats on the second place finish here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll let you get ready to start turning right come next week.
Oh yeah. Hey, Barry, I'm back, buddy. I'm back.
That is the number 4 back in the interview room here, finishing second here tonight. But the man that's going to get the last interview, Jimmy, is going to be your winner here tonight, the 14 of Rob Higgs.
The man after my own heart, running the best number in iRacing. Rob, welcome to the booth, buddy. Do you copy?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Pretty good. Obviously, it's hard to miss the pink paint schemes that you always put out there each and every week, but you were out front for quite a bit. Stayed out for through a few of them cautions, and then you decided to pit and end up getting yourself involved in a little one as you tried to sneak by on the outside, taking a little bit of your fender off and whatnot, but able to persevere, work your way back up to the front and win this thing. So give us a little rundown of your race tonight and the challenges that you had on track.
Well, the initial staying out was because I knew the fuel window was like 15 laps, and I was like, I need to make it to 20 if I want to do this and one more pit stop, and I did not expect it to be the caution fest, and I just got lucky being in the right spot at the right time at the end and being able to, willing to push the truck a little bit further than some of the other guys and get around Jeremy and stuff like that. So I do want to apologize to Mr. Matt Ulmer. I did not mean to grab his bumper like that. That was me being dumb.
Well, I mean, you guys are in a learning league, and hopefully everybody learns a little bit here from tonight. But you definitely were able to. You had a fast 14. You qualified well. You qualified on the outside, and you ended up finishing first. So, we got to recognize that, and that you were able to execute a good strategy here tonight. You had the speed to put it where you need to be. So, we want to say congratulations on your first victory of the season, and give you some time for any shouts you may have, man.
I want to shout out my guys over at MTR, putting up with me and my craziness. Pin Up for Vets, Meat for Sweets, Meat and Sweets. God, I'm going to eventually get that one right. Marty's iRacing.
Feel free not to. It's funny.
But I appreciate them guys for, helping put all this together. And of course, you guys up in the booth here, you guys put on a great show and make us sound better than we really are most of the time.
Appreciate the shout outs and showing up each and every week, and getting this great finish here tonight. So want to say congratulations as always, and we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
That is your winner here tonight, the 14 of Rob Higgs, as he is the 5th different winner here on the season. And we got 10 more races left on the season, but next week, Jimmy, we get to turn right.
Yeah, I don't mind turning right. I love Watkins Glen. Just a short hop and skip here from Pocono up to the Finger Lakes area. Another area that I've actually spent some time in. I took my wife up there on one of our anniversaries while I was in the Navy, and it snowed like a dickens up there. And we called it a little bit short and came back home because we didn't want to get stuck. So, but great area to be up in, a great track, and a little bit of road racing always serves the body good, knowing how to at least turn right once in a while.
Yeah, and certainly car control, or I guess truck control, is going to be key next week, and making sure that you can feel that weight shifted back and forth, which can be extremely tough in any car, but let alone when you got a truck here that doesn't have that much weight in the back end. That back end will be prone to stepping out here, but also getting on that throttle as well. Going to have to be something that hopefully these drivers practice. Won't have to worry about cautions next week. I promise you, next week won't be a caution fest, because road courses, no cautions. It will be a green flag the entire way. But either way, we'll hope you tune in for that. But we got plenty of racing left this week. We got 1 race tomorrow, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. So we have plenty of racing action here on CRN. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer, both for myself and Jimmy from Pocono Raceway. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.